it for the people. Let's go.
Aim in the bush. I got a bam in the bush. I know that God gon' provide for me. That's why I stand on the book.
Hey there, friends, and welcome to Becoming a Boss, where we take some time each week to talk with someone who is wrestling with a specific situation at work. Some want to be helped, and some just want to be heard. I'm Megan, here with Wallis today, and this week we are listening to a caller who is facing a problem with delegation. Ooh. It's a good one. A lot of people talking about that right now. So, okay, let's dive in. We are going to listen to what the caller sent us. Here we go. Let's do it.
Hi, I'm calling in to share a problem that's been bothering me at work. So I've recently moved into my first leadership role at a time when my project team is facing a lot of turnover. So I'm working on an IT project, and during all this turnover, we've lost a lot of technical knowledge on my team. And at the same time, my company is trying to implement an agile approach to projects, but it seems like some of my previous team members have interpreted agile to mean that nothing needs to be documented. So I have a team of mostly brand new people and a backlog of work that has very high level descriptions of what needs to be done, but not any detail on how exactly to do it. So I've been struggling a lot with how to delegate when no one seems to know what's going on. Since I've been on this project for a while prior to becoming a lead, I know a lot about how to use the system, and I've set up a lot of knowledge transfer sessions to help teach my team the fundamentals of what they need to be doing. But I really need to find a way to empower my team to learn and work with others on the project and take on this work that is ambiguous on their own without coming through me for every question. Because to be honest, I can't keep up with everything, and I'm quickly becoming a bottleneck to the progress on my team. I really do have a great team, and they're all eager to learn, but I can tell that they get frustrated out of clear direction. And I really feel bad that I can't give them a clear direction, but the work itself is sometimes confusing and super technical, and a lot of times I don't even know myself how to specifically solve a problem that they're facing. And I know there's broader problems on this project that I've kind of inherited, and I don't feel like they're all my fault, but I really feel like I want to make this team better. I'm wondering if you have any advice on how I can help lead my team through this. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much for all your help. Bye.
It seems like, and something's been wearing on you for some time.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard with her having a almost new team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's hard no matter what.
And then she's saying she sometimes doesn't even know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like how to solve it. Where is the documentation? That seems to be part of the problem. There is no documentation.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest, if we could pretend we lived in a perfect world, it should have been documented because that's how Agile works. Have you worked with Agile before?
No.
Well, okay. So it's an approach to project management where it breaks everything into really small pieces of plan, build, test, which is I love personally because the technical team and the operations team work so closely together. It's hard to make a mistake because you're always together and you're collaborating. But that's not what happened for her because they're not collaborating because they're not documenting all the things are not going well. She's in an awkward situation.
Yeah, and it's hard because we can say start documenting and that would be good for going forward. But how do you, because like she said, it kind of can become a bottleneck if now they're going to come to her for everything.
Mm-hmm. Right. The bottleneck thing happens all the time. I'm sure you've seen it. Mm-hmm. I've seen it. And what stinks about that is that as their manager, the very last thing that you want to be is the reason the work isn't being done.
Correct.
Right? It's the opposite of what we're trying to do. But when she's talking about this, I had almost the exact situation at work so long ago. I worked in Youngstown, Ohio, and we went from being dead last to kicking. We were winning everything. They were amazing. It was amazing. But somewhere between being in last place and getting to first place, they started coming to me and they're asking me all these questions. And I have already my own things that I need to do. I'm holding one-on-ones and I'm doing coaching and I'm holding people accountable and I'm having team meetings and I have to plan and all these things. And then plus I'm juggling the client expectations. So they're coming to me all the time and they're asking me questions that it's stopping me from doing work. So this goes on for some time. And finally I'm frustrated and I hear the caller's voice. We can hear frustration in her voice. And I remember feeling that way. And so one day, team meeting, end of the day, and I just explained to them, here's the situation. And there's a whole bunch of, there's probably 12 of them at this point. And I just say, I'm not getting my work done. Y'all are coming over here a million times a day and you're asking me a bajillion questions. I can't get any work done. So can you please come to me at the end of the day? We're meeting every day in a team meeting. Anyways, can you just wait till the end of the day or go ask your colleagues, because you are all together all the time. You're in the same meetings. You get the same training. If you don't know, probably Lanika knows.
Right.
So, or whoever. So go use your resources.
Right.
And I loved them and I think they knew it, but that did not stop them from asking me questions the very next day. It went right back to how it was. So I gave them the finger, not that finger, this finger where I'm just, so they're coming over.
Pointer finger.
The pointer.
Yes.
The pointer finger. So they're coming over and they're bustling. They're moving fast. And here comes Lamar running around the corner and he has that look on his face. And I give him this finger and I look at him and he looks at me and we just know that we have just talked about this yesterday.
Yes.
And I could not be put in the situation.
But let me ask you this, though. It sounds like your team was a seasoned team. Or at least it didn't sound like they were new. Were they new?
They weren't new to their role, but we were a newly formed team.
So would you compare it to the callers team? That sounds like...
I would.
Okay.
Because I came from another place to Youngstown. So they didn't know me. I didn't know them. And it had not been a long time. We were still not winning at this point. We were in the middle.
Okay.
And it was new to everyone, which I think is why they were asking me so many questions, because they were kind of new to the program.
Okay.
And, people want to do a good job.
Right. And they were new to you, or you were new to them.
Both,
or
yeah.
something. Yeah. So I'm sure they did want to do a good job.
But it took me maybe the rest of the week or a few days. And I continuously hold up my index finger. Is that what? Pointer finger?
Yeah. But
I can't have people thinking.
I don't know what the technical...
This one. Give me a minute finger.
Yes.
And eventually they stopped.
Yes.
Yeah, they stopped, which was great. And one thing that I thought about after the fact, when I was thinking this through, because we've been talking a lot about trust in the other training. One thing I accidentally taught them was that I trust you. I trust you, whatever it is that you are about to ask me. I trust you to go figure it out, make the decision, or whatever. I don't need to hold your hand.
Right.
You are a valid boss in your own right. You are trained and you can do it. I wasn't thinking about that at the time, but I was accidentally teaching them that I believed in them. And I did.
Right.
I did believe in them. So yeah, give them the finger.
Give him the finger. That is, give him the finger. That is the advice. You heard it here first. No, but I'm just wondering, so in that case, it sounded like there were kind of resources that they could reach for.
They had each other.
They had each other. Do you think in this team, and I'm only thinking a little deeper into it because like Steve works in IT and documentation is huge.
Critical.
And the difference sometimes between something taking you an hour versus something taking you 8 hours by the time you're on the phone with Microsoft, by the time you're on the phone with it, by the time you troubleshoot on your own, by the time you, like documentation is so critical in IT that I'm just wondering when you don't have it
Yeah.
in a team of new people.
And I mean, you're in trouble. That's the answer.
And how could they be each other's support and each other's resources without having to go to their manager time and time again asking questions, which then causes a bottleneck?
It does, but she even said herself, if it's not documented, she doesn't have the answer either.
Right.
So
This is true.
Put your brains together. I mean, because remember, she shared with us already, she had been holding several meetings, several sessions, training sessions. So they are as up to speed as they are going to get, it seems like. And now it's their turn. And I'm not saying this is the only way. I'm just saying she's new in the role. They're new in their role. There is no documentation. So although, we have to change our ways going forward, what are we going to do right now?
Right, this is true.
And what's certainly not going to help is sitting around waiting for answers, right? Just go, and honestly, if you're meeting with your team all the time, it's not like you don't have access.
Correct.
And if it's $1 million, I don't know, I guess it depends how much your company, but if it's $1 million mistake on the line, then okay, save it for the team meeting and let's get some type of clearance.
Right.
But if it's just, I think it's better to move forward. I err on the side of action. That's my...
Right. Well, no, and that's what's going to save the team going forward. Yeah. I think it goes without saying, but I would want to make sure that someone or everyone is now making it a point to document everything. Going forward,
yeah.
For the sake of the team and those coming after.
Heaven forbid. I think that's the first thing.
Right.
That's the very first thing.
That should be the very first thing.
Yeah.
Who is are they each being accountable for documenting different things? Obviously, I don't know the structure of the team or how they have tasks, divided among themselves or whatever, but documentation going forward is
Please
a must.
do that first.
A must.
So, do we have any other thoughts on this? I feel bad. She clearly cares about our team. She clearly feels like her back's against the wall.
Yes, and I feel a sense of frustration because she doesn't have all the answers. And she really wants to be a source of support for them. Your process of meeting every day at the end of the day, I think it's really good. And I wonder if this caller has a similar schedule or cadence with her team, because I think that also would eliminate the question after question. If everybody knows that, okay, if I have questions, I'll save them.
Right.
For this. So if you know in advance that there will be an opportunity to ask your questions.
Right.
That'll keep everyone moving.
I agree.
Until set time. And it'll give her the freedom of knowing that she can expect to not be interrupted. She can expect that questions are going to be at this time. And then the rest of the time, she's going to just be doing her work. Right. About her life. So I think that is also something really important to implement.
Yeah, because if I wasn't doing the team meetings, and it doesn't have to be every day, it depends on your business, but if you're meeting with them regularly, then they have access to you. If they didn't have access to me, I would that would make them maybe feel abandoned. Like I don't care about them. Right. So I would never, that's the very last thing.
Correct.
That we want to do is make them feel abandoned, but they had an outlet.
Right. And I think that's important. It's important for her to continue to do her work without feeling so bogged down. And also they know they have access to her and get to ask questions.
Yeah.
I think that's brilliant. If what you said to your team, hey, go figure it out, go talk amongst each other, go, research, do everything you can do. Yeah. And if at the end of the day you still have this question, then let's discuss it together. And, to your point, if you don't know, maybe they don't know, but maybe they do know. It'll benefit everyone in the team to have the discussion together.
Yeah. And then other people are learning from other people in the meeting, right? Which is better for everyone.
Correct.
Right. Okay. Well, so to summarize, I would say communicate to your team what you're facing. Just being honest with them. I'm struggling in my own work. Just be honest. Right. And then make a plan to solve it. Right. Whatever it is. Because maybe, could you guys ask in your team? Maybe you could ask each other. Maybe you could use this document for, whatever that answer is. And then lastly, when they don't listen to what you said. And it's not that they don't listen. It's just we are creatures of habit. And if we're already in a habit of asking questions, we are going to continue to ask questions. That's just how we are.
Yep. Gonna take a second.
And as a leader, I think one of the most critical things is when you set expectations clearly and then they come and they do the same exact thing, to just reinforce. Yes. And reinforce that answer, because it's not that they don't care about what you said. We are all creatures of habit, and our natural inclination is to do the same thing.
Do the same thing we did before. Yes. You know how to do it. You don't think you can do it, but you can do it.
So anything else you want to add, Miss Wallis, before we boom for today? How would you summarize this?
No, I think it's
give him
great.
The finger.
I give him the finger is a highlight for sure. I just want to say I appreciate this caller's heart, you can just tell from their message that they really, really care and that they really want to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And that they really want to be supportive and all of that. And I just want to say to the caller and to everyone listening, that is half the battle. When your leader wants to do the right thing,
Yes.
they want to be there for their team. They want to be a source of support. They want the best for everyone around. That is half the battle. So I just want to say to her, kudos, and you're doing a good job. Things will get better. You're doing everything you can do, including calling here for advice. So you're doing all that you can do, and things will get better.
I'm anxious to hear. Maybe we can start getting reports, right?
Yes.
I did this. It worked.
And it worked. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, man. That sounds great. Well, that's it for today. Thank you to all of our boss listeners for tuning in. Thank you to our caller for sharing her story. And thanks also to my dear friend Wallis for hosting with me today. And a big shout out to Mike Teasy for letting us use his dope song on our podcast. And before we go, if you're like us and want to see lives change, give us a 5-star rating. Or if you think your story can help others, give us a call at 864-619-1683 to help us inspire and equip others on their journey of becoming a boss. And listen, friend, we know it's not easy, but remember that whatever it is you're walking through, you are not alone. And together, we can make the world a better place to work. Thanks for listening, team. Take care and see you next week.
Yeah. Bam in the bush. I got a bam in the bush. I'm the that God gon' provide for me. That's why I stand on the book.